Bonjour, mes amis. So here we are at our first week of our actual French language and culture. I know last week I just wanted to get to know a little bit more about you, and thank you guys for filling those things out um, and getting signed up on Google Classroom. But this week we are going to dive a little bit into the language and the culture, and every week we'll get a little bit more. All right, so the first thing I want to show you and talk to you about really quick is just a look at the Francophone world. Now, Francophone, la Francophone, it just means French speakers, okay? So when you look at this map, now it's a little tricky because this box square right here is actually, this is it zoomed in. So you have to imagine all this right in here. But when I look at the world and I look at the French language, the Francophone, the French speaking world, you will see a lot of parts of the world have a lot of French speakers. And a lot of times people say, oh, it's just in France. No, no, no. So here's France right here, right where I put my cursor. Oh, maybe I should do my zoom on. Hang on. Focus mouse. Oh, yeah. So here's France right here. So if France was the only place where we spoke French, then there's not that much reason to have to learn it. Now, when you look across the world, though, it is not just France. Right here is all of Europe, and this is a zoomed in version of it, right? So in different parts of Europe, you will hear French, and you will hear different uses of the French language. Sometimes it's just the business language. Sometimes it's your home language as well. Here, what country is this? I'm sorry, continent is this? This is Africa. Take a look at Africa. And honestly, there are some other countries that probably should be highlighted as well that are not. But as far as it being one of the main languages of Africa, one of the main business languages of Africa as well. I have some friends who have done some work in Africa, and before their company would send them there, they had to learn French, and they had to do a very intense course to try to get pretty fluent in it before they went over. But yes, in different parts of Africa, it is very important for you to know the French language. In fact, the International Red Cross, that is one of the secondary languages of the International Red Cross, is that they want you to know English and they want you to know French, because so much of their relief efforts are in countries where if you can speak French, then you can understand the people that you're working with there. Also in Asia, there is some French in Vietnam and Laos, in Cambodia, a little bit. And not really in Australia, except for maybe the French Polynesian islands that are just kind of off the coast. And again, not really so much in South America, except for French Guinea. There is some in the tropics like Martinique, Guadeloupe, Haiti, and of course our northern neighbor Canada, especially in Quebec. French is the main language there. So I just want to make sure that just from our little video today that you understand French is not only spoken here in France, right? It is a worldwide language. And depending where you are, it might be more spoken than other places, but definitely a very important language in Europe, definitely an important language in Africa, definitely in the US as well, especially Canada. This is if any of you have traveled there, you'll see the signs. They're in both languages, right? They're bilingual. They're in French and in English. So the different parts of our continent of North America, definitely you will hear French. In fact, in Quebec is where I studied a lot of my French, and so in Quebec, it's very fluent there. That you hear that before you would hear English for sure. All right, so I want to show your assignment, and then we're going to be done. So I'm not going to read this to you. I'm going to expect you to read this, France in the French language. Okay, so there's a picture of France, and you see some of the countries surrounding it, and go ahead and read through it. And as you read, there's going to be some more. Now, you might be looking at this going, I can't read it. Yeah, you can. Go ahead, hit the zoom button, right? Zoom in. Okay, zoom in, move it around. You can definitely read it. It's one of those things where you're going to have to play around with zooming in a little bit. I'm going to zoom out so you can, oops, not so much. Let me just go to 100%. Okay. So anyhow, So you can definitely see it. You might just have to zoom in. And again, there's some pictures, but then there's a little bit of reading. So there's a lot of pictures. So that's why it looks like a lot of pages. It's not. It's because there's really big pictures on them. Same thing here. Okay, they're showing you different parts of Africa that speak French, different parts of Europe, different parts of Asia that speak French. And then don't forget to do the reading, right? This gets into a little bit of the culture. Some great things in here. Some things maybe you knew and maybe you didn't know. Read about the Statue of Liberty for sure. That's pretty important. And I don't want to give stuff away, but make sure you read through that. And then when you're all done, there's going to be your assignment. Let me switch to my arrow. So they're going to ask you a couple of questions and you're just going to fill it in. I made it easy for you. All you're doing is clicking on the worksheet here and see how the text box shows up. You're going to type in your answer. Okay. You all will have your own individual worksheet so that when you type in your answer and then you submit them to me, it'll be right on here and yours will all be different. You don't have to worry about your typing on someone else's worksheet or paper. This will be individual to each of you. Okay. It says name the Romance languages. Little hint, that doesn't mean that they're romantic. It means they come from the Roman languages. So that's why it's called Romance languages, but not that they're romantic. But some people will say that they definitely are. All right, so read through. Again, you'll find the text box. You just type your answers, okay? And then when you're all done, you're just going to go ahead and submit that to me and you'll be done with your French for the week. I do suggest that you do this Friday, do it today so that you can get it done and out of the way so you don't forget about it, all right? So you just have a little bit of reading to do and then some questions to answer. If you have any questions for me, please email me. I do check my email every single day. And if you have any questions, any concerns, anything you're not sure about, I would love to help you out with that. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.